I need your opinions. I am finding my worms. I think they're shrinking. For sure, the Euros, you can definitely tell. I used to have the fattest little guys on earth. So is that a moisture issue? I have noticed that this round, because remember the last time I went over this, it was so wet. I thought how wet they were constantly. So this time around, I decided we're going to try a little more dry. I didn't really water them down at all, which I'm thinking now might have been a mistake. Not 100% because I am still getting castings, which is mainly what I want. However, I do still need to grow my herd. So I'm growing my herd here. That's why I've got this huge breeding program going on. Holy moly. I mean, it's huge. It's way bigger than I ever dreamt that, you know, I was teeny tiny compared to other people out there. I'm not. I'm pretty big. Now that I see what their operations are like, they're humongous. I mean, they're actually humongous even though they look like they're not. This is a ton of work. If you put all the steps into it with the breeder bins and then the nursery bins and then the grower tanks, huge undertaking. That's okay. I'm willing to do the work as long as the outcome is good. I think I just spilled a big old chunk out the side. See all this debris in here? You know what that is? Horse poop. So horse poop, it doesn't break down all that fast. You would think that since it already went through the gut and gone through a digestive cycle, that it would be like broke down way more. But it's not. It's an excellent substrate if you're gonna be doing the sifting out and creating nurseries. So in a breeding type situation, I think I'm not sold 100% on whether you want all these debris in here, because what it'll be is substrate for the next nursery, sure, and it will have more biology in it, yes, but as far as for castings, if you're specifically running a worm farm for castings, okay, I'm not going to say the horse poop is the best. If you're running a worm farm for breeding and you don't care about those castings, you're just going to have a bunch of them you're going to have to get rid of, then I'm going to go with horse poop is best. If you want castings, I'm going with cow poop. I still haven't done the whole cow poop round yet, but it's coming next. But what I noticed about the cow poop, it breaks down into super, super fine fragments. Let's you see how nice this bedding is, though. If there were a ton of cocoons in here, which there's not because I think it's just too dry. But I'm seriously not probably going to be running a breeding program. I'm just going to probably be doing for castings, so the amendments. So I'm still getting every turn. I'm about 4 or 5 months turn. Still getting a lot of castings and stuff for amendments. And I do believe that this right here is going to be superior for your eco-friendly agriculture amendments. You want those debris in there that are not quite broken down because that's what's feeding your biology. So since I'm in this learning phase of all of this, as far as the worms go, I got to learn the worm breeding program. Then I've also got to learn the microbial livestock underground things, and then on top of that we're going to have to focus on the cover crops to feed the livestock underground. So right now I'm trying to focus just on the worms and learning how much of this is just horse poop that's been chewed up, and then it's just the worms didn't quite get it broke down, I guess. Maybe that's because it was dry, so now I need to work on going more moist. I'm trying to let you guys see this amount of information and knowledge that it's going to take. Okay, but now you can see on top of the castings there's a lot of fiber particles. That is excellent for feeding the biology in there, I'm going to say. No big deal. But as far as somebody looking at your castings and be like, those aren't 100% pure castings, then I'm going to say, no, you don't really want the 100% pure, because then what are all the microbes going to be eating? The protozoans and things. They need food too to keep them alive. So it's a great feed for that. And also, I believe from what I'm seeing under the scope, it does increase those numbers to have that food supply there in those castings with them. Ooh, there's so much knowledge to get down here. So those are my goals. Those are my questions that are still out on the table to help fine-tune this. And I won't be able to get completely fine-tuned until I decide, am I going to be offering worms? I almost have to, because I feel like it's kind of like the bee business. When you get into the bees and you want that honey, you just got to do something with the extra bees that keep happening, because you cannot keep adding more and more hives. You just can't. You can only manage so many, because they really need to be managed. It's a menagerie, you know. You've got the wild beasts inside a contained system, so you really have to manage that. A lot of people don't understand and have a lot of trouble keeping them alive because of the amount of detail that you have to pay. And now, I'm finding that with these worms too, the more you feed them, just the more they multiply. So somehow get rid of them worms, and possibly just, I don't know if we should just be tossing them out into the field with the amendments or what. They will naturally reduce their population when the food runs out. I want to be increasing the food in the soil. So if I do that and I just increase more worms and then they just eat it all the faster, am I just, defeating my own purpose? No, I don't think so, because we're still creating the poop in there, which is causing the nutrients for the plants. I think we have to keep going. If anybody else has got that knowledge behind their belt already, please chime in. And let me know. Here's where I'm at so far to this day on this ginormous project undertaking that I have chosen to subject myself to. Just giving you guys all my thoughts and my love in the worm world right now. Soon I am going to have to shapeshift back to the bee world, because those girls are waking up a full force this year. And so, really throws everything off when that happens. But you just have to work extra hard. Make sure everybody's got plenty of room, plenty of space. Keep going. And won't that be wild when I just have a dial I turn on and all of these castings just fall through? Woohoo! Okay, so big deal is sifting and substrate. Sifting and substrate for worms. Don't ask me what I'm going to find in the future once these things start getting to be adults. And I have to, that's the other thing, food. So the worms are shrinking. I'm wanting to say it's possibly due to moisture. They shrink down when they don't have enough moisture, but then I don't know. Do I need to be feeding them on top of pre-compost? Okay. Is that not enough to get them to lay the cocoons and get fat? Everybody's got worm chow recipes. Is that only because you don't do like pre-composting that you have to feed them like extra? Like to get different nutrients in them or something? Or do I need to start feeding these on top of the new bedding every month? For the substrates. Well, they're substrates, but it's also their food. But is it not enough to keep the weight on them? Like, am I going to have these skinny Euros from now on? I kind of like them better that way, but I'm pretty sure that if I start offering them, I'm going to have to put them in a separate bin where I would have to toss in the chow to get them fat for fishermen. I think they want them that way. I don't know. This has been one heck of a experience. I can do it. I feel like I can do it, though. I don't think this is too bad. I'm not much of a partier or go out and be entertained type, so this is my entertainment right here. So all you other people that are that way, that you just like to focus right in the here and now and these type of things. Oh, I'm glad to meet you. Because otherwise I probably never would have, because I'm always just so enthralled with doing and investigating and things like that, that, you know, I'm out in the field too much. Don't get to meet the people. That's okay too. Sometimes. Okay, something I'm doing wrong. I'm spilling more this go around. I think it's because it's way over there. Normally I have it right over here next to me and I can get them all. Oh, I tap it out of there. Okay, well, there you go. Get 2 bins sifted and go back to sifting the grower bins. Like, that's all I do all day long. Do you guys, like, do that too? Is that why you don't got so many videos up? Because you are just sifting. Especially you guys running these breeder programs, because, you know, we don't have room for all the substrate, but, you gotta be out there just sifting your hearts out, like me. This dryer stuff does not clog up your screen nearly like the wet stuff does. I think maybe those little leaf veins are more brittle when they're dry, and so they'll tend more to break off, go through the screen better. So I'm sure nobody thinks about leaf veins like I do, but I'm investigating that stuff to see how, you know, which substrate clogs up your sifter the most. And if there is one that does, like I like these leaves maybe, but it would cardboard have fragments in it that would also, whatever it is, maybe I don't want to choose to use that substrate, depending on whichever type of sifter I have. Now, you guys with the big trommels probably don't worry about that, but, you know, with a little sifter, you ain't gonna get much sifting done if it keeps getting clogged up. So, alright guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm glad that y'all are still here, haven't run off by the scary, crazy lady. Hope to see you in the future. Stay safe, everyone. Spread the love.